is time once again for NH Unscripted, where one bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch, girl. Yeah, I'm your Osmonds-like host, Ray Dudley. Yeah, coming to you from the Hanna-Barbera-like digs of the WKXL studios. Queeks draw me, girl. Ah, yes. Time to break out those Sony Walkmans, Sony. Take out your tape players that got the radio in them. Throw away those junky headsets. We are coming to you from 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for you beautiful folks in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL because the cool kids need a place to hang out. And that's it. That's where the cool kids are. And if you're not out there, guess what that makes you? Not cool. Anyway, I got to thank my sponsor today, Lakes Region Fence up in Guilford. Matt and his crew up there, you've heard me say it many a time. They do tremendous, tremendous work. I have actually been on some of their work sites. They use top quality material. They'll build you a fence for your picket ball court, for your property line. Dude, it's summertime. Doesn't your pool need a new fence? Come on, get off it, old man. Break down and pay for that new fence. You know, no one wants to see you in your thong and your black socks and sandals. Put up a privacy fence, for goodness sakes. Get out there. LRFence.com is their URL. LRFence.com. You can go out there. There's a button. You can get a free estimate. Us old folks, we dig free. We're all in for free. And Matt will get back to you with a quote. Come out and take some measurements of your property and what's going on out there. LRFence.com. And there are reams and gigabytes. And what's bigger than gigabytes? Mike, what's bigger than gigabytes?
I do believe that would be the terabyte.
Terabyte. There's got to be terabytes of pictures out there. Worth of pictures out there. LRFence.com. Thank you, Matt, for all you do for sponsoring us in the house. And you don't know how long I've been trying to get this gentleman in, is my friend Mike Perry. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Fired up. Got my clogs on from the 70s to go with my bell-bottom pants. Doing good. Hey, did you ever, a quick segue before we even get into the show. I'm already segueing. Did you ever have a Super Ball when you were a kid? You know what those are?
Super Ball? Like really bouncy?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those crazy things. I've lost more of those when I was a kid. You know, that first bounce is fine, and then that second one, it just takes off.
Yeah.
I don't even know the physics of that. How is that even possible? I lost so many. Oh, my God. And they were hard. They hurt. Man, oh, man. Anyway, good morning.
Good morning.
That's what I think about on the way in. Some people are on rabbit holes. I'm just like, I remember that Super Ball I had. What the heck? So what are you up to?
Oh, just doing the trucking thing, basically.
So, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that because the last time I think we did anything together was the play which shall not be mentioned, but I'll do it anyway.
What show would that be, Ray?
RUR, Rossum's Universal Robots. That was like a 4-hour. Oh my God, that was painful. It was tough. That was tough.
The joke among the friends with that show was, come watch Rossum Robots, where you can see Ray Dudley cry for 3 hours. I don't come on for 3.5.
I know.
But you can watch Ray cry for the 3 hours before that.
Oh, my God. What was Kevin Barrett thinking?
He jumped in a little too deep in the pool, I think, on that one. That's a hard show.
Oh,
it's a hard show. Had he directed before? I don't think he had.
I don't know. That was a brutal one to be a newbie, and I'll tell you that. That hurt. That show hurt. But that was the last time I think I've seen you in. I think it's the only time we had actually done something together.
Yes, sir.
I had seen you do other stuff though at the Hat Box.
Okay.
And I was really glad for the few minutes we had to be on stage together to do it. But I had always wanted to meet up with you. I was hoping that we could do things, and then after Rossum's,
disappeared.
No more Mike. What the heck? So did you hit the road at that time, or were you a trucker before that?
No. I actually did at least one more show sons or post
Yeah.
awesomes. I did a Kid Cult with the Community Plays of Concord. Did a show at the Hatbox.
Oh,
Kid
I
Cult
remember
with,
that.
with Ryan Clark, Spencer Costigan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that got a lot of good publicity, man. Got a good PR.
Yeah, with one very notable scene. It's not a bad show. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great for kids to do.
I think I remember seeing the pictures of like swords and the shield or something, or what?
We're all dressed up in tinfoil.
Yeah. Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So what made you want to be a trucker, though? I mean, what did you always? First of all, what kind of a trucker are you?
It's long haul, OTR they call it.
Okay.
It's over the road.
Is that the big trucks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the big.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Man, oh, man. So did you always want to be one? I mean, and how do you even get your license for that? Do you have to go to school and everything?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know nothing about it. Obviously, I know nothing about it.
I chose trucking because it was super easy to get into. I was at a point where I needed to kind of make a change, and my hand was, if I'm being honest, kind of forced a little bit. At the time, I was trying to do the acting thing, trying to build up a resume, and I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to be an artist, and that's what I'm going to make my money doing. And I was just starting to get a little bit of traction, and people that I was relying on their support dropped their support. Huh. So it's ultimatums
that
were being
never
made,
happens.
and yeah. So it was either go find a blue collar job or go live under a bridge in Manchester. Basically, is what was going on.
Dude, that's a terrible choice.
So yeah, unlike some of those stories that you hear in Hollywood, where someone's like, I left all my family behind and I lived on the streets and I made it. No, I wasn't going to do that. So getting into trucking super easy. It's 6 weeks of school. I went to school right here in Concord, up on the Heights.
They have a tractor school here in Concord?
I don't know if they do anymore.
Oh man,
but they did at the time. Yeah, so 6 weeks, and then just everybody's hiring.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, did you for your acting thing? Were you trying to get like theater acting or commercials and film and that kind of stuff?
I was more focusing on the voiceover stuff.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, and I was starting to get some traction, unfortunately, on Audible. It's an Amazon company, you know how we all feel about Amazon, but there's a couple projects that are still out there now. I was just starting to do films down in Boston. Less interested in if I'm going to be honest, less interested in the theater stuff. It's just here in New Hampshire. That's the easy. If you want to be a performer, you go into theater because that's what's available up here, really.
Yeah.
So
for your audio work, did you have a booth and everything? Were you set up? Is this one of those closet stories?
It's worse than a closet, Ray. It was the most jerry-rigged. I took my mattress for my bed. So I had my TV and my recording set up against the wall, and I would use my TV as my monitor for my copy. And then I would take my bed and put it on my sides and a bunch of blankets, just as many blankets as you could put over the top of it, and I was able to get some pretty good sound isolation and deadening.
Supposedly works.
It worked. I was getting jobs. I was booking jobs.
No kidding.
With a mattress.
We do audiobooks. What were you?
Yeah, it was mostly.
You said voiceover, but
it was mostly audiobooks, narration sort of thing.
Wow.
Not exactly what I wanted to be doing, but that's what was being made available.
So how did that fall apart? Because it would seem to me that would be once you get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Alex Picard does it. I don't know if you know Alex Picard. She does. Well, anyway, she does a lot of voiceover stuff, books. Mm-hmm. But it would seem like the hardest part about that's getting in the door.
Yeah.
And were you?
I was just starting, and the rug kind of got pulled out from under my feet.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I didn't have the wherewithal to try to continue on without the support that I was having at the time. Yeah, I know.
Dang, man. You ever think about getting back in?
Every day.
Really?
Every day. Yeah, I need to be doing something. This will segue into our photography. I'm sure we're near the end of the first segment, but
maybe.
I got to be doing something creative. I need to. That's where I want to be making my money, whether it's performing, whether it's doing voiceover. I have all my recording equipment in the truck.
You do?
It's just not when you have 6 diesel engines running around you at any given time of day, it's not exactly conducive to recording an audiobook.
Huh.
But yeah, I got my Caddy 150. I have my my laptop with my DAW in it. I got my interface, all that stuff. It's all in the truck.
Wait. Okay, so why? You know it.
Well, because all my worldly belongings are in the truck. I live out of the truck, basically. Yeah. So, it's not a bad thing.
It sounds
No.
tragic to me.
No, so it's I'm. It doesn't make any sense when you only get 4 weeks off a year, and every other waking moment of every day is spent in the truck.
Wow.
Yeah, the teachers think they have it bad.
Ooh.
Sorry,
Yeah.
but love you, teachers. We'll get that later after this break.
Put a pin in that. And baby, when you're hot, you're hot. And we are hot here at NH Unscripted. I'm your Jerry Reed-like host, Ray Dudley, coming to you from the YMCA-like digs of the WKXL studio. Man, I can smell the pool chlorine from here. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people in Manchester. We love you. NHTalkRadio.com is the place where all the cool people hang out. Mike Perry's in the house, and we got stories to get into. We'll be right back. Knock 3 times on the ceiling if you love us, baby. It is NH Unscripted. I am your Tony Orlando-like host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the F-Troop-like digs of the WKXL studios in the bunkers of Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. Those are both Concord-based on your transistor radios. 101.9 FM in Manchester for you beautiful people. NHTalkRadio.com is the URL. And I got my vest on with the tassels from the 70s. Oh, I'm a throwback, baby. I am a throwback. Mike Perry's in the house. We're talking everything. We're talking voiceover. We're talking driving trucks. We're talking it all. So you live in your... forgive my ignorance. I mean...
Yeah, no.
I, for some reason, I just think these trucks, you go and you come back, and you have, and then you go, get up in the morning, have your coffee, and you go and you come back,
No, there's no coming back, right? I call them deployments for a reason, because it's, you go out and I'm not going to compare it to being in the military, but you go and you're on the road for 3 months, 4 months, then you come for your time off for a week, which is what I'm doing here right now, actually, visiting friends and family and being able to see you, and just a week off, and then I'll get back on the truck, and I won't be off the road until probably September. Yeah.
So it has to take a special kind of person. It sounds. What do you do? It sounds lonely. I guess you get to listen to a lot of radio or podcasts or something. What's going on out there?
You certainly get a lot of podcast work in, that's for sure. I listen to New Hampshire Unscripted every week.
Thank you. That's my fan right there.
Yeah, I'm the one. You've been talking to me this whole time.
I owe you money. So I do want to talk to you because you do some incredible, in my opinion, some incredible photography.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. And your black and white stuff, man, is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Talk to me a little bit about that. Where'd that come from? Have you always been interested in photography? And get into that for me.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. It was kind of the situation where when I was a little boy, my father had an old, like a Pentax camera, and it wasn't even the camera I was interested in. It was in the leather box, really, that the camera would be kept in. But it's like this old technology. I wasn't so much interested in the camera or the photography itself, but that seed was kind of planted. And then being out on the road, needing to do something creative. I had to do something. I started with TikTok videos.
Did he? Man, okay.
Yeah,
all
bad.
Right.
Don't look it up, ladies and gentlemen. It's bad. And just I stumbled upon landscape photographers on YouTube and started watching their videos. Like, oh, I'm kind of in a unique position where I'm traveling all over the country. And in the first 3 months of me driving, I was in every single one of the lower 48. I should be documenting some of this and capturing some of what I'm seeing. So I bought a camera and started doing that. And that was the impetus. And then as I started doing that, I was like, oh, this is fun. Oh, I kind of have a unique eye for this, not to toot my own horn, but...
No, do it.
That Yeah, what I'm doing, it's different a little bit, and it's still pretty good, and I'm enjoying this. Well, what do I need to do to make a career here? So that's kind of what I'm trying to transition to. I'm trying to get out of the truck.
Yep, good for
and,
you.
and pursue photography full time.
Wow. So what's your website?
The website is clardyshortphoto.com, but I'm hardly ever there. I'm terrible at updating my website. Instagram, Facebook, and Vero. You can find Clardy Short Photography anywhere on any of those.
Man.
To be more up to date to what I'm doing in the moment. But
Yeah, I love when they pop up on my feed.
Yeah.
They're cool. So I mentioned black and white. Is that new for you, the black and white part of it, or because your early ones were color, right? I mean, they were.
Yeah.
But the black and whites are gorgeous.
Black and white is so much fun. I think not that I'm trying to compare myself at all, and what I do is very different in black and white with Ansel Adams, but everybody and their mother has an Ansel Adams hanging up in their house.
Yeah.
And they're all in black and white. It goes back to the, like I mentioned earlier, my father's camera in that old leather bound. There's a vintage to it that kind of speaks a little bit that I really, really enjoy. So I like doing the black and white, and I feel like you can be a little more creative with the black and white. You're still capturing the reality of the moment, which is what I like to do. Mm-hmm. I don't go into Photoshop. I don't clone things out. I don't use generative fill like 99% of every other photographer out there is trying to do. They're trying to create a pretty perfect picture.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to capture the reality of the moment, but at the same time,
yeah,
you can load up, when I take an image, it's in color.
Got you.
The black and white comes from post-processing.
Okay.
And one of the things you're able to do in black and white is control the luminosity of various colors in the image that have been transferred to black and white. So how gray and how black and how white it is. So you're able to create some really stark and contrasting scenes by playing with your magenta or with the colors that would be blue and how black they are or how white they are. And that's how I'm able to create the black and white photography that I do create.
So you have obviously you have an app then that you use.
Yeah. It's I avoid Adobe. Anybody in the photography world, if you're ever using Adobe, you understand why maybe avoiding any Adobe product right now.
I don't know anything about what.
Oh, their terms of service recently.
Really? What?
According to their terms of service right now, they can remotely go into your computer, find your images, and sell them.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a huge stink right now. Huge stink in the community right now.
I cannot even get my brain around that.
Yeah. So imagine
how invasive is that?
Yeah. Imagine you're a photographer and you have an NDA on this magazine shoot for a dress or something like that, or photography equipment. If you're reviewing photography equipment, you have an NDA, and Adobe can go into your hard drives, find that protected, copyrighted product, and turn around and sell it.
I am stunned. Honestly, I'm stunned.
Adobe is on the record right now as having said our goal is in the next 5 to 10 years to put photographers and creatives out of business.
Mike, I don't even know where to begin with.
Yeah, so I don't use Adobe products.
Yeah.
I use Capture One to process my images.
So that's in the terms of service? Most people don't even read the terms of service.
I don't read the terms of services. I didn't find out about it till another photographer made a video starting to complain about it. And then it's just a ball rolling down the hill, just picking up, and people are starting to notice. And yeah.
So that means they must have like some kind of a back door in their apps that they can get into your computer. And
I don't know how it works.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's... If you use
I don't even know what to say. I'm like blown away here. That is wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't even imagine how a company approaches an attorney and says, "You know what we want to do? I got this idea. I want to put my software out there and be able to get in and just take things out of somebody's computer and turn around and sell it. Can you write me a contract for that?" Yeah. Holy Toledo. All right. So how do you decide what to photograph? Dude, you've done concerts. You've done beautiful still life out there. Like, I'm going to, this is ignorant, a swamp. I saw a black and white swamp picture.
Sure, yeah.
And I thought, How did he see that? And then how did he think, I got to stop and photograph that? How's that come about?
It's just about noticing things. It's the driving the truck. 100 times out of the day, I'll be driving and you're bored because you've been driving for 10 hours. And then you look over and say, oh, well, that would be an interesting image. But I can't stop. I got to keep going.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly walking around just noticing. And when I was waiting for you to show up here, you got some daisies out there.
Yeah.
There's some interesting photos there, just waiting to be happened.
Never would guess it.
Yeah, you just got to be looking for it.
Dude. So, and then do you, I know you love it. You thinking of like trying to sell them? Do you sell them? To like snap?
I don't have a marketplace
snap,
or anything like that.
Snap something? What's the name?
No, it's I don't do stock photos because, again, going back onto
Shutterstock. That's what I'm thinking.
Shutterstock, yeah. No,
yeah.
because then my images can be used to fuel an AI algorithm, and I don't want to be a part of that world.
AI's coming, baby.
Yeah, well, it's only going to come if we let it.
Oh, I know. But, there's a lot of people who they're not fighting it.
Yeah.
I know that, the Hollywood industry's fighting it pretty hard. Yeah, but there's a lot of people and they really embrace it.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Dude, that's two of us. Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh. Two segments down. Two. Oh, my gosh. Well, joy to the world, baby. You are listening to NH Unscripted. I am your Three Dog Night-like host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the Hollywood Square-like digs of the WKXL studios, where I sit in the center square. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. That's for Concord people. 101.9 FM in Manchester for all you beautiful people down there. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Mr. Mike Perry is in the house. I got more questions. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted, where it's me and Bobby McGee. Well, maybe not. I am your Janis Joplin-like host, Ray Dudley. Throwing back to the 70s, baby, we are trucking on. 1450 AM on your transistor radio, 103.9 on the FM band of your transistor radio, 101.9 FM for the beautiful people in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is the cool URL. Cool, baby. You know it. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Mike Perry's in the house. Have you, speaking of crazy AI things, have you seen where like big stars have actually found their voice being used or their image being used out there? Nobody pays them for it. Mm-hmm. They're just creating commercials using their voice or their image.
Yep. Yeah, didn't Tom Hanks, wasn't he kind of one of the big ones that they just had a full-on commercial?
Yeah, I think Jerry Seinfeld maybe too. I don't want to, I don't even know. Maybe I don't have that right. But yeah, can you imagine that?
I would be livid. I would be absolutely through the wall.
Kind of like a company selling you software where they can take things off your computer and use them. Only it's worser. It's worser because it's your image. Mother of God. So where do you take your photography from here? What's going to happen with it?
I was kind of at a crossroads until this visit. I was either there was an opportunity to potentially transition back into living in New England again.
Yeah. What, you mean getting off the road? Yeah.
Eventually, yeah. But it's because right now I'm based out of North Carolina. So
okay. You are?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I live in North Carolina. I have a North Carolina license. Yeah. Most of 3 of the 4 times that I get a chance to come off 3 of the 4 weeks that I get to come off the road, I spend in North Carolina, and then 1 week I come up here to visit all the friends and family that I still have up here. There was an opportunity with someone to potentially maybe create a future with. And that kind of fell through during this visit, unfortunately. So it was, if that was going to be successful and there was a chance for that, I'd relocate back to New England and I'd open a studio in Boston would be the plan. But since I'm not going to do that now, going back to the original idea I had before that whole side street potentially was going to be an option, and become are you familiar at all with van life, camper vans, and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So traveling around the country in a nice camper van, going to all the national monuments, and basically creating YouTube videos, documenting how to go about photographing these kinds of things.
My wife is big into like the retro ones. She loves looking at the old Streamline. What do they call them?
The Airstreams?
Yes.
The silver Twinkies? Yeah.
My God, she goes crazy every time she sees one. That's a good idea, though, to travel around and continue documenting it.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be able to get into a lot of places that I can't get into with the truck.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, so I haven't been able to shoot much recently just because where I've had to stop the truck, there's nothing interesting to shoot. So you'll see 20 things on the road during the day. Like, oh, that'd make a good shot. Oh, that'd make a good shot. And then you stop in the middle of Uglyville. So. Yeah,
and I would imagine there's only so many things at a trucker stop that you can film.
Yeah.
Legally.
I try to keep the lot lizards off of my Instagram.
I was about to say, careful.
Well, thank you, Andrew, for keeping me on the straight and narrow there, baby.
I'm trying really hard to be clean. I'm dirtier than Michael Curtis, I promise you. It's really difficult.
So, what do you have for equipment? Did I see you have one kind of? You have a Fuji? Is that what it says on your website or whatever?
The camera body that I use is a Fuji X-T4.
Yeah,
I have a number of different lenses for it because you need to have.
I know nothing about it, so geek out, baby. Tell me all about it. For what kind of stuff do you? It seems to me, I just take a picture, right? I got an iPhone, and that's all I have to click, and so. Expound upon that. Enlighten me.
I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I'm not going to discredit the art some people are making with the phones.
Yeah.
But anytime that I see a really cool idea that was created with a phone camera, the only thing I can think of, imagine how much better it'd be if you had a proper camera.
Why? I mean, these things are crazy, right? Aren't they?
Sure,
again, please. I know nothing about it.
The cameras on that phone are designed to show images on that phone. If you want to try to print something to put on your wall, anything larger than your phone, forget about it. It's gonna look like junk unless you use artificial intelligence to try to upscale it.
The technology that shall not be named.
And a lot of people do that, and it is a legitimate way to go about doing it. It's not what I want to do.
So you're saying it doesn't because of the is with the form? Is that the
it's
because of the way the phone is set up? Or is it pixelating?
It's all about sensor size. So your sensor size determines your dynamic range.
Okay.
The smaller the sensor is, the less dynamic range you have. Like the new Samsung phones, they say, oh, it's got 200 megapixels. Sure, but your megapixels are so small, they can't take in as much light as a sensor that has 200 megapixels on a larger sensor, for example. So to create better images, meaning images with more dynamic range, you need to create larger pixels. And in order to do that, you need a larger sensor.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I never thought
and the
of
sensor on your phones they're tiny. They're tiny, so they're coming a long way. Don't get me wrong, but it's size is king in so many things, and sensor size in a camera is certainly one of those.
So do you have like one of those long lenses?
Yeah. I was just in your parking lot taking photos of daisies with my 150 to.
Oh, you weren't kidding?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
I thought you were just throwing that out there.
No, I had my 150 to 600 zoom lens, and just yeah.
Are there things that you would like to photograph that you're kind of prohibited because of what you're doing? I mean, really, are there?
As much as I love landscape,
don't
get me wrong, I do love photographing landscape. The passion is in people.
Oh.
I want to shoot portraits. What I want to be doing is portraiture. I want to be doing fashion. That kind of stuff is where the real passion is.
Yeah.
I've only gotten an opportunity to do one session And I wasn't even able to utilize most of the photos because it was a boudoir session. So you don't really want to be putting that kind of stuff out on Instagram. It violates the terms of service.
There are other sites for that.
Yeah. But it was so much fun. We spent 10 hours, Ray. I shot thousands of photos with these two women, and it was so much fun. So yeah, it's shooting people, doing headshots, whether it's headshots for actors or corporate headshots, portraiture work. I don't have any interest whatsoever in event photography. You will not find me at a wedding with a camera.
That's funny because some of your stuff is out there at all these like concerts and gigs.
Well, it's my brother is a musician and his wife is a dancer, and they used to work at the same theater. So I would just bring the camera in to when I would go see their show down in Myrtle Beach. Okay, I'll just bring the camera in and grab some candids or anything like that. But I wasn't hired by the theater to do any of their shots.
So would you prefer to have a studio where people come to you, or do you really enjoy being on the road, so to speak, and filming things that are not in-house?
They're both so unique and so much fun. I would like to have both.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, I would be in a studio space Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends get in the camera van and go out to the Mount Washington, the White Mountain National Forest, or Shenandoah, or Oregon and Washington, or Alaska, and grab all that stuff, and then come back for the rest of the work week doing stuff in the studio. That would be perfect. That would be the dream.
Okay, so is this a labor of love, or are you planning on, like, again, please forgive me, like taking classes to learn more? I mean, it would seem to me that doing portraits or fashion is like you have to have this like really cool eye, I would think, to like do it well.
And I'm certainly not the coolest cat on the block.
What? He did not mean that.
Hey, I kind of had a reputation when I was here, Ray, of being a grumpy old curmudgeon.
What?
Anybody listening to this show that is in the theater community and we work with will know, oh yeah, Mike, he's kind of a jerk.
True confessions, baby. True confessions.
And I am sorry. I'm
Too
trying
late.
to be better. I'm trying to change.
Turning over a new leaf. Oh my God. Oh, baby. What do you get when you fall in love? Oh, you find NH Unscripted. And I am your Bobby Gentry-like host, Ray Dudley, coming to you from the Taj Mahal-like digs of the WKXL studios. It is cavernous in here, I tell you. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios, 101.9 FM for you beautiful folks in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is the URL. Mike Perry's in the house. We're chatting photography now. We'll be back. Make my heart sing. Yeah, baby, because it's NH Unscripted. I'm your Charles-like host, Ray Dudley, and we are coming to you from the Fantasy Island-like digs of the beautiful WKXL studios in Concord. You'll find us at 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radio. Might also be known as your Sony Walkman, maybe. 101.9 FM for the beautiful folks in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Out there, since I've brought it up, NHTalkRadio.com, you can find a button where you can listen to this show and any other program live here. You'll find a little button out there for that, as well as all of the archives of this program and the beautiful other programs that are taking place here. Let's say, you had a hard night and you need a little cheering up and you're thinking, I seem to remember that old guy. What's the name of his show? NH something. You can go out there. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll be there for you, baby. I'm your friend. I'm in your back pocket. NHTalkRadio.com. That's our URL. This show, by the way, can be heard every Wednesday and Friday morning at 9 a.m. Drive time. Drive time. You and me. Drive time. Mike Perry is in the house. He says he's an OTR. That's an inside scoop for Over the Road Trucker. It's our secret, Mike. So, so is it a tough life?
It is. Yeah. Yeah, I think
It would seem like it would be.
Yeah, I mean, it is very isolating.
Yeah, I'll bet.
It made COVID interesting.
I was going to ask you about that.
It was kind of like what I would imagine if the world was ending, but you're on the International Space Station. Because my world didn't change at all.
What?
And I remember it was probably a month or two after everything went on lockdown. I had a delivery in Los Angeles. And I'm driving down, was it 605? These big, notoriously congested highways. And I'm the only person on the road. It was eerie.
That would be freaky.
Yeah.
That would be freaky.
Yeah. So the only thing that changed in the truckers' world when COVID hit is, okay, well, now we have to wear a mask in some places. But we didn't have to, we couldn't hold up. It's
We depended on you.
I mean,
I needed my stuff delivered.
if trucks stop rolling, people are starving in the streets by the millions in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
3 weeks at the outmost, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, your stores will be
Yes.
empty in 3 days.
Yep.
The DCs that supply those stores and are trying to keep them in stock are empty within 5 or 6. And then after that, there's no, if you can't grow it, you're not eating.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, we rely way too much on our trucking.
Man.
In fact, it's to the point where we're not allowed to strike or fight for better.
What?
Yeah, the Patriot Act. We're not allowed to go on strike.
What?
We can't fight for better working conditions.
How is that even lawful? Anybody can go, you would think.
No, not us. We're not allowed to because we're so reliant in this country on trucking that,
Dude.
yeah, if like I said, if we stop rolling 2 weeks, 3 weeks, millions of people in the streets of New York.
Yeah, but
Chicago.
that's supposed to be the power of striking. It's
Yeah.
supposed to affect people.
Well, when we let legislation just do whatever it is that they want, just
Don't
create new
get
rules.
me started.
Regardless of what they're supposed to be doing.
I'm that old man sitting at home at night yelling at his TV.
Get off my...
So how about, because since I got you and I don't know any other truckers, health-wise, how is it, does it take a toll on your health?
I mean, look at me, right?
You handsome devil.
I'm a solid 45 pounds overweight and a heavy smoker, so I can barely walk.
We
No,
don't
it's not
talk
that
much about weight around here.
bad. No, it's hard.
I'll bet it is.
So it's when you have when you stop to shut down for the night, you have 10 hours before you have to be up and rolling again. In that amount of time, you have to eat, you have to shower, you have to do all your laundry.
Things I cannot even begin to imagine how you do when you're on the road.
Well, it's all available in truck stops. It's expensive.
Yeah, I'll bet it is.
Yeah, showers $35.
What?
Yeah.
$35 to take a shower?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. If you stop in a spot that, because some places, if you buy a certain amount of fuel, you get a free shower.
Yeah.
But it's very rare that you actually stop in a place that you have also bought fuel at, so you can't use the shower credits, so you still have to buy a shower. Yeah.
Can't you go to like the YMCA?
Oh, I'd have to leave the truck, and I can't do that. I can't leave the property. Trucking is a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week job, whether you are rolling or not.
I am so ignorant.
The amount of free labor that truckers have to supply their companies isn't through the roof. So
You can't strike. You're slave labor. Your health is at risk.
You get paid cents on the mile, and only cents on the mile. Everything else, so you still are responsible for answering phone calls and emails, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's the job of a secretary. You're still responsible for maintaining security on the truck, trailer, and load if you have a load in the back of the trailer, so that's a security guard. All that labor is provided for free. You're not compensated for that. And you have to stay there on the truck. You can't I can't like take an Uber and go to see Mount Rushmore if I'm in the area. I have to stay there.
Well, are there people who check up on you? I mean, how would they know? I mean, can't you like park it somewhere and then go to a movie or something? I mean,
No.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
really. Yeah.
I feel bad. Why would anyone do it?
Yeah. So stop cutting off your truckers. They're already getting a bad deal.
Boy, you are not kidding.
6 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 6 seconds.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel bad for you.
No, I mean I'm trying to get out of it, right?
Yeah, I can imagine why. But I don't get why people do it. What are they finding in it? Why would you? What there's guys who do it for years.
They don't know anything else. A lot of what you see, the truckers that you see on the road, they've been doing it for a long time. Their father was a trucker. Their grandfather was a trucker. If you listen to the stories that they tell, it's all they know.
Do you own your own rig?
No.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I was
not the whole thing, right?
I used to be on the path of trying to own my own rig. And then it got to the point a year ago, the first quarter of last year when I was a lease owner-operator, my take-home for the quarter was less than $400.
Wait, what?
Yeah. After all my expenses of paying for the truck and all the fuel, and miles are low, and rates are per mile are low, I made $400 for 3 months worth of work.
Mike, I can't.
Last year. So I stopped leasing the truck, left that alone, and now I'm actually doing okay now as a company driver. But yeah, that's another scam.
I don't get the allure then. I just don't get it. And those cabs can't be cheap, right? If you own your own?
Yeah, no. It's a basic tractor trailer is $175,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, easy, all day long. Without anything nice added to it. That's just the basic truck.
Wow. So your truck that you have is provided to you by the company?
By the company, yeah. I don't have to pay for it
So you
anymore.
work for an actual company?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Like Amazon. Not them, but I mean like but an individual company. You don't like work for 3 or 4 different.
No. It's there's a company name on the side of the truck. And,
Oh, it
and
is?
all that stuff. Yeah.
Man, oh man. And so you have to report to them so often? How do they keep track of you?
As to like where I am,
Yeah.
everything's got a GPS tracker on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and all the trucks they have are ELDs. It's a little tablet, Samsung tablet you track all your hours, all your messages go through there, and it's obviously the phone. They can always call.
Yeah. Did I see one time, or did I hear one time, you are not allowed to drive so many hours? I mean, there's a maximum they let you drive?
Unfortunately, yes. There is a
see,
maximum because you can thank Jimmy Carter for that. Unfortunately, the deregulation. But so the way that your day would work out is it's 24 hours in a day. 11 of those you can be actively driving. 14 of those can be on duty, so that's your active driving time plus your pre-trip inspections, your post-trip inspections, your paperwork, checking in with shippers and receivers, all that kind of stuff. And after that 14 hours, you can't drive anymore until you've had a 10-hour break.
Man.
Yeah. Whether you're tired or not, you have to force yourself to go to sleep.
Oh, my God. Mike!
But that's just the on-duty time. So it's the actual amount of time that you work is usually significantly more than that. That's the end of it.
Seriously?
Oh.
Dude, I was just getting invested there. You had me. What in the world? Oh, man. Well, way down yonder in New Orleans, baby, you'll listen to us, NH Unscripted. I am your Freddie Boom Boom Cannon-like host, Ray Dudley. You have been listening to us on 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. Or hey, maybe you are at the URL, nhtalkradio.com. That's us. Mike Perry, my friend, has been in the studio. Man, telling some great stories, dude. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right, catch us on the next one.